way downtown. Bang! Bang!
These are legendary last-minute moments. And first up, it's time to give Unibrow his flowers.
Trying to disrupt Rondo. He puts it in. Here's Davis, 4-3 in the win. Oh, it's good! Anthony Davis has won it for the Lakers!
A game-winning buzzer beater in the playoffs? Man, that's almost as legendary as our 19th moment. The time Devin Booker told the whole world, I'm him.
Calvin, 6 to play. Booker, this is for the win. Got it! Wow!
What a shot by Devin Booker right there.
The spin, the dagger, and the celly? This man's dangerous. LeBron woke up feeling sloppy, because this man really had a chance to put the game away and disappeared like post-retirement Tim Duncan.
Expect him to put his head down and get to the basket.
James weaving, driving, moving, and layup no good! LeBron missed! LeBron missed!
Dang, how's this man gonna call himself the chosen one when he's out here bricking layups? But it turns out, I'm the one who owes LeBron an apology, because this man passed up the easiest shot of his career just to show the world his greatness.
Wall. The lead is free. Love, LeBron, and got it! Bakes it in!
Wow. I told you, Kevin, you gotta guard that man. He just hit 3 3-pointers earlier in the game.
That looked like Christian Laettner. I had to see.
Wow, bro really had everyone fooled, but James Harden had no one fooled. See, this man isn't a system player. He is the system.
I'm not a system player. I am a system.
But real talk, this dude was a different breed in Houston. So when the game was on the line, it wasn't a matter of who was getting the ball, it was a matter of when.
Gerald Green to inbound. Harden trying to get free. Down to 3, down to 2. It's a 3. Good! Good! He got it! James Harden, a flamethrower!
Two defenders were all over this man, and he still hit the shot in their face, which is almost as cold as what Reggie Miller once did. See, everyone knows the Bulls were the team to beat in the 90s. They won 6 championships in 8 years. But what if I told you their last dance almost ended with the ultimate L? Because in 1998, the Bulls had to get past Miller's Pacers, and bro wasn't going down easy, because the Bulls thought they had the series in the bag, up 2-1 and 3 seconds away from a 3-1 lead. Everyone thought this series was over, but the Bulls made one costly mistake. They gave Reggie Miller 3 seconds. 3 seconds too many.
He gets it in the middle for the win. It's there! 4/10 of a second. He's going to come off one screen, gives Michael a bump, and he lets it go.
It doesn't get any better than calling against Michael Jordan. However, another player called game when the lights were even brighter. See, the Celtics had no room for error, because against Jimmy Butler, you make one mistake, and it's already game over. But with just 2 minutes remaining, time was running out for Jimmy Buckets. The Heat were down 7, but Celtic fans weren't celebrating yet, because they've learned the hard way that this man can turn the impossible to possible in the blink of an eye.
Butler with a long shot of 3. Jimmy Butler just canned a 3. Butler hatches his way inside. And Butler.
The excitement was rising, and the fans were electric. You knew this game was slipping away from the Celtics, but all they needed was one more stop, and the series would come to a do-or-die Game 7. But to do that, they had to stop the man who couldn't be stopped.
To tie.
And at this point, it was only a ticking time bomb until Miami was off to the NBA Finals. When the Celtics inbounded the ball with 3 seconds remaining, you just got the feeling that Miami was going to finish the game, especially when Marcus Smart was shooting the final shot. Dang, man, this game's over. I mean, look at these guys. Yeah, Pro got married, and his favorite team was heading off to the finals. But those fans turned off the game 1 second too soon, because until the game hits 0-0, anything is possible.
It's off to Smart for the 7th game. moves on. It'll be reviewed. The Celtics are going to win. There's a Game 7 back in Boston.
In the biggest of moments, it wasn't Jason Tatum and it wasn't Jaylen Brown. It was Derek freaking White. But sometimes the most legendary endings are the ones that seem the most scripted. Because in 2018, the Cavaliers had their backs against the wall. It was literally LeBron James and a bunch of nobodies.
The Cavaliers playoffs 2018.
But none of that seemed to matter. Because in 2018, LBJ turned Toronto into LeBronto.
It's going to be James. Here it is. See, it's under 3 seconds to go. Throws up the floater. God bless! Good night, Cleveland! That is for you!
Yeah, this dude hit him with 38 points in a crazy game winner. So I think it's fair to say, Rose earned his celebration. But if anyone deserves to celebrate, it's our next player. See, the 2000s were not kind to the Portland Trail Blazers. 6 playoff series and not a single victory? This was getting embarrassing. But in 2012, the Trail Blazers made a decision more valuable than any playoff victory.
With the 6th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Portland Trail Blazers select Damian Lillard of Weber State University.
And once they drafted Dame, this team started balling out. But it wasn't easy, because in 2014, they made the playoffs yet again. And it was against 2 of the league's best, James Harden and Dwight Howard. So fans knew this was going to be an uphill battle. But what they didn't realize was that one young kid was about to change everything.
Series. It's Lillard. He got the shot off. Lillard, good! Good! And the Blazers win the series for the first time in 14 years!
Not gonna lie, this dude's been a winner since the second he entered the league. But if you want to get chills, then it's only right we take a trip down memory lane. When D-Wade and Kobe share the same court, you already know there's going to be fireworks. And in 2009, D-Wade thought he got the last laugh. But then Kobe put up a prayer that only one man could pull off.
Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up at the buzzer. Banks it in! Oh, he banks in the 3! And the Lakers win the game!
As disappointing as the loss was, even Wade knew what he had just witnessed.
He's either laugh or cry. I don't know what's going to do. I'm going to laugh. Hey, man, that's the only person I'm like, look, anybody else ought to tow that locker room up.
But one moment I'll never forget is the game Derrick Rose shocked the world. Because when D-Rose went down, it felt like the entire city of Chicago had stopped.
Rose came down bad on his left foot. See him holding onto his knee and down.
For reference, Derrick Rose was the youngest MVP in NBA history. He was supposed to lead the Bulls back to the promised land, and fans were calling him the next big thing. But now, life had just thrown Rose a curveball, and he'd never be the same again. However, in 2014, Chicago fans got to forget all their pain, because for a split second, they got the old D-Rose back, and it was a moment they'd never forget.
Finds Rose. Rose trying to get open, fires away. Bang! It's over! The Bulls win at the buzzer! And the Bulls take a 2-1 lead in this Eastern Conference semifinal.
Man, how can you not love this guy? But it's even harder to hate what's still ahead. We gotta talk about February 27th, 2024. It was the Ultimate Guard Showdown. Donovan Mitchell's Cavaliers versus Luka Doncic's Mavericks. But are we kidding? The Spider can't take Luka down himself. That's when one of the world's most unlikeliest of heroes emerged.
Strus. Back it goes to Mitchell. Takes a bump from Hardaway. Strus fires a 3. He knocks it down.
Oh, the game because of that. Oh!
Mitchell finds Strus. Strus looks to stay hot, and he does. Garland off to Strus. Strus with another. Oh, my word.
Not one, not two, but 4 3-pointers in less than 4 minutes. This man was unconscious. But none of that seemed to matter, because once Luka got his hand on the ball in the game's dying moments, you knew he wasn't going home empty-handed.
But Doncic gets it back. Doncic dumps inside Washington, puts it in. 2 seconds left.
Luka Magic does it again. But hold up, do you see that?
Strus from midcourt. Oh! Do you believe this? Whoa!
Bro was already having the game of his life, and then somehow took it to a level he didn't even know was possible. However, that half-court game winner is a drop in the basket compared to what I'm about to show you next.
Have 2 timeouts. Siakam disrupts it. Lamb has to throw it up. Oh my! It goes! Desperation 3.
Jeremy Lamb is hyped. The announcer is hyped. This moment is a dream. However, let's admit it, that last moment, it was a little bit lucky. Yeah, what the Suns did in 1998, that wasn't luck. That was planned. But it all would have been for nothing if it weren't for this.
Who's going to inbound the ball? Baseline Sabalas. Barkley puts it up. Does it count? It does. Jacob does.
Charles Barkley hitting a game winner? Wait until Shaq sees that. Although, don't show Shaq this next moment, because that's something neither he nor Chuckster could ever pull off. But when you're the greatest shooter to ever live, you can do things that no other human can do. And in 2016, Steph Curry had an opportunity to do just that. He had a chance to tie the NBA's single-game record for the most 3 points in a game.
Once they switch, knowing who they're guarding.
Curry fires away and hits the 3.
Gives Curry the space to give the 3.
Curry, long distance, puts it in. 28 for Curry. Curry from downtown. It's good. Crossover, step back, 3-pointer. Bang!
This man made 11 3-pointers. And if you're like me, you're mad impressed. But it doesn't matter how impressed you are. With only a few seconds remaining in overtime, Curry was 1 3-pointer short of the record, and his team was losing. However, Curry wasn't about to do either. Because when the Warriors put the game in his hands, he instantly knew he wasn't missing.
Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! With 0.6 of a second remaining.
Dang, bro nearly gave the announcer a heart attack. That's how you know it was crazy. But could you imagine a moment like this in the NBA Finals? However, Michael Jordan is no stranger to the spotlight. And in 1993, he had his team 1 win away from a championship. So, you already know, he was about to unlock a mode that's above any other. But it was all for nothing. MJ had scored 9 points in the 4th quarter, and the rest of the team? They didn't score a single point. But somehow, the game was still within reach. With under 10 seconds remaining, the Bulls had one more chance to prevent a Game 7. So naturally, everyone expected that the ball was going to the best player on the planet, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. But instead, the Bulls took the biggest gamble of their season and put the game in the person's hands you'd least expect.
They want Michael to get a full head of steam, try to keep him in the middle of the floor. Well, Pippen got the snap. Here's Paxson for 3. Yes! The Bulls take a 1-point lead.
That right there was special. Because the Chicago Bulls dynasty wasn't built on one man alone. And this shot by John Paxson shows they were so much more than Jordan's Bulls. But an even more special moment took place in the 1997 NBA Finals. Once again, the Bulls found themselves in the biggest of moments. Because once again, it was Game 6 and the Bulls had a chance to win an NBA championship. But this time, there would be no turning the John Paxson. So fans couldn't help but think this was Jordan's chance to call game and win a championship in front of thousands of fans. But Jordan had other ideas. See, he knew what the Utah Jazz's plan was. They were going to force anyone but MJ to hit the game-winning shot. That's when he came up with his own plan.
He comes off. I'll be ready.
Could you imagine the world's greatest player asking you to hit the biggest shot of the entire season? Man, I'm just sweating just thinking about it. And deep down, I know Steve Kerr was sweating bullets. But that still didn't prevent him from doing this.
Looking for Michael Jordan. Checks the clock. 5 on the 24. Here's Jordan. Did not have the shot. Kerr does it. Steve Kerr. 5 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. The Jazz take a timeout.
Now, if I'm Steve Kerr, I'm on cloud 9. This is a moment every kid dreams of. So when Kerr got a chance to walk fans through his career-defining moment, he didn't dare disappoint.
When we called timeout with 25 seconds to go, we went into the huddle, and Phil told Michael, he said, Michael, I want you to take the last shot. And Michael said, you know, Phil, I don't feel real comfortable in these situations. So maybe we ought to go in another direction. Why don't we go to Steve? So I thought to myself, well, I guess I got to bail Michael out again. The shot went in, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I didn't know it was possible to make this moment any more legendary, but Bro just did. And yet, when Reggie Miller played against the Knicks, he did a lot more than just hitting a shot or two. This man broke the laws of what fans thought was physically possible.
Fouls called. Actually, that is short of the record for both teams in a playoff game. Miller for three, and he got it. Reggie Miller with a clutch tray and a steal. Miller retreats to the three-point line and hits again.
Tie game. No need to foul in that situation. Indiana's win in game 1 at Orlando last year.
Miller hits two.
No timeouts.
I'm not sure which is crazier, scoring 8 points in 9 seconds, or the fact that the New York Knicks can't catch a break. See, this wouldn't be the last time the Knicks woke up on the wrong side of greatness, because when Luka's career is said and done, there will be 2 moments I will never forget. The first is when he scored 73 points against the Atlanta Hawks, the 4th most in NBA history. But the second is an even more unlikelier moment, because in the past 20 years, NBA teams are 0 for 13,884 when down at least 9 points in the final 35 seconds. But the impossible has never been one to deter Luka Doncic. He found himself in the position no one wants to be in, down 112 to 103 with 33.9 seconds remaining. Mavericks fans were already starting to leave the arena, but then something magical started to happen.
Here is Luka giving the ball up to Hardaway. Luka with the rebound, puts it in, and it's a foul. With 15 seconds, he's got a chance for his 50th point of the game.
But here's the deal. Luka Magic is special, yet he was going to have to go into another gear if the Mavericks wanted to win. Last I checked, the Mavs were still down 2 with only 4 seconds left, and Luka only had 1 free throw left. That's when Luka threw up a prayer.
Nothing shocks me about this game.
And that drew rim. It's still loose. Luka got it back. He did it. An improbable comeback by Dallas to tie it with 1 second left. It's unbelievable. It is a miracle.
I've seen this clip time and time again, but every time it hits different. But our second moment hits even harder, because if I only had 1 game to define the Black Mamba, it would be Game 4 of the 2006 playoffs featuring Kobe's Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. See, this one wasn't easy. The Lakers are up 2-1 and the Suns weren't having it. So if they wanted to secure the 3-1 lead, they were going to need to send the game into overtime first. But to do that, they had to get a turnover and 2 points all in 8 seconds. That's when Kobe said, "Say less."
Ball knocked away, stolen by Parker. Here comes George to Kobe Bryant. Bryant inside. It's good. It's good. Tie game.
The steal and the layup are already legendary, but the job wasn't finished, and Kobe knew that. So when it came for overtime, Kobe knew his job would be even harder, because if he wanted to win the game, he was going to have to pull off an even tougher shot.
With the save. Oh, you're going to get a shot here. Final seconds. Bryant for the win.
Can't draw it up any better. This man hits the coldest of layups, and then hits us with a below-freezing game winner in overtime. But it still falls slightly short of our top moment, because in the 2013 NBA Finals, the Miami Heat needed a miracle. The Spurs were 1 game away from winning the championship, and better yet, they were 30 seconds away from immortality. See, the score read 94-89 in favor of the San Antonio Spurs, and fans had already thrown in the towel.
Behind Spurs guard Manu Ginobili, you can see them. Fans bailing. Some filing out past a stone.
But the Heat refused to go down without a fight, so they put the ball in their best player's hands and let him go to work.
6 to shoot. Chalmers behind the James on the flush. Chalmers in the paint. Off balance. Wild shot thrown down by LeBron James. James drives and finishes.
Yeah, that was cool. But the Heat still needed a lot to go their way. First off, they needed Kawhi Leonard to miss a free throw. And now that was complete, they're going to need an even bigger 3. And this time, the difference between making and missing a shot could literally be the difference between winning and losing an NBA championship. So you can only imagine how crazy things got once the unthinkable happened.
Won't go. Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer the officials are going to review the scene.
It doesn't get bigger than that, because in the span of a few seconds, Ray Allen just made the biggest shot of his career, and the Spurs just lost themselves a ship. See, once the game went into overtime, you already know what happened next. The Heat came through clutch again, and once Game 7 rolled around, I think deep down even Spur fans knew what was going to happen next.
Tim Duncan showing James, pulls up, puts it in, 4-point lead. 35 for LeBron James. Timeout set, final seconds. What a finish. It's back-to-back titles for the Heat. The 2013 NBA championship resides once again in Miami.